All right, guys, we are live. We are recording episode 2 of our podcast. So I want to say thank you for everybody who has listened to the first episode. We have our normal guests, Ross and David, with us today. Guys, say hi.
What's up?
Or we have David Anthony, sorry, as it says. All right. It's going to be a little bit shorter than our first podcast. First thing I want to talk about is college football. We've had the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC all decide to play your season. And the Big 10, the Pac-12, all of them decided not to. And now, since football is going great, they all want to join. So they're joining in 5 weeks in. And they get to be in the rankings. They're all rested. They don't get to play a 10-game season. They're going to play half a season and be eligible for all the trophies, all the awards, things like that. So my question to y'all, Ross and David, what's your opinions? Ross, what do you think?
You know, too bad, so sad, man. Yeah, that's my opinion. You got these other, granted, yeah, we are going into week 5, but that's still just, 1 week roughly away from the season being half over. And now all of a sudden you want to jump in and say, oh, we want to play now. And that's great. You guys can play. But no, I don't. I think at most, maybe the very most, I think that's the right wording. You should just be bowl eligible. If you do get to that 6-game win, because I do, that will open up some more options for other teams to play each other outside of the conference, but as far, and, if you can win a Heisman in 6 games, hey, I think you may have earned it, but I don't believe that, any of them will be eligible for the playoffs. At that point, I don't care if you go 6-0. If you do go 6-0, I think you need to have beaten your opponents by 40 or more each game. But I understand people, they want the opportunity to play. They realize they made a mistake and are wanting to jump in and give these kids an opportunity to play football, which is what they went to school to do, or particular schools to do, more than likely. So, I'm not, like I said, I'm not against it by any means, but I'm also not, for any of them being eligible to make the playoffs or really even win any awards. But like I said, if you can win an award in 6 games, you might have earned it.
So, David, to you, same question. What do you think? Do you think it's right that they just get to join, or do you think they should play each other in their own conference? Should they, not get to play at all because they didn't decide by week 2, or what?
I'm not a collegiate, I don't watch a lot of college, but at the same time, it's not fair for. It's not fair for
let's think about the NFL.
Play. Yeah,
let's say I know your favorite team. Let's say the NFC North, or the NFC for that matter, just said no, we're not playing, and now 6 games in, the NFC decides, hey, we ready to play. And so now you have teams going 12-4, and the best that they can get with, is only 10 games. So their equivalent would be like 6-4. So what do you think?
But then again, like for me, it'd be like, well, if you didn't want to start the season in week 2, or week 1, then you want to start now, it's a little already too late.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of games and a bunch of other teams that want the opportunity to be, in the playoffs.
Yeah, I kind of feel like
you should have already made the decision.
Like if you didn't make it by week 2 and decide you want to play, then I feel like you missed your shot. Because usually teams have 2 weeks of bye weeks.
Yeah.
And so you could be like, well, there's your 2 weeks of bye week. Now you have to play a schedule every week, just like the SEC and all these teams are doing. They've had to revamp their schedule and play 10 straight games, all SEC, 10 straight games of all ACC. So,
those teams, they lose out.
That's what I agree with too. Ross, my question to you, we'll move on to another subject real quick, and we probably won't be on this for very long. The Cowboys, which we know are in the worst division in NFL, probably the history of the NFL, is deemed as America's team. They've been America's team since I knew they were, late 80s, early 90s. So why are they still America's team? They haven't won a Super Bowl in 25 years. Like, are they still America's team because America's happy with disappointment? Or why? Like, why are they still America's team? Yes. Shouldn't we say, like, I don't like them, but can we not say the Patriots, since they win a lot, are America's team? Because a lot of Americans are cheaters, or how? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why they're still America's team.
Here's what I love about a good fan is that no matter how their team does, they're still fans. And like you said, they haven't won a Super Bowl in 25 years, but 25 years ago or however long ago, I mean, they became America's team. Quotation air quotes, they're America's team. And to me, I kind of equate that to like the Yankees. The Yankees are kind of one of the, when we talk about baseball, you want to talk about the Yankees, right? Not all the time, but that's kind of one of the first teams in my mind, in my personal opinion, that pops up when you talk about professional baseball. And it goes back to the players that have played for that particular team.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can name Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Lewis Irving, and all those guys. When those guys were playing and they were rock solid and were winning Super Bowls and going to the playoffs and but to me, it just comes down to fan base, man. I guess that's just the team that people tend to gravitate towards. They've got the biggest, best facility. I don't know if they have the most, the biggest budget when it comes to salaries and salary caps and stuff like that. But in the past couple of years, you've definitely seen after the Tony Romo era, you saw a lot of the country get behind Dak Prescott and what's the running back's name?
Ezekiel.
Yeah, Ezekiel Jackson, right? Is that right?
Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott. I don't want to say Jackson. Ezekiel Elliott. So you have this duo that come in and try to turn things around. I know you can't put it on the back of just two players. And like I said, David is not huge into college. I'm not huge into the NFL. And you rally the fan base and these fans who are diehard fans and have been for decades. I refuse to give up on the Cowboys. In fact, I know a guy who got his truck wrapped in Cowboys memorabilia. It's wrapped around his truck. He's got it on his Ford F-150, big old Cowboy sticker right across the side, both sides of it. That's kind of that's my kind of fan. Like Arkansas Razorback fans. I'd say some of them yeah, they jump. They're bandwagon fans. They only jump on when they're doing good and jump off. Tell them they suck when everybody, when they're sucking it up, But it's almost, but you still watch them. A lot of the majority of the fans, no matter how bad they're doing or how good they're doing, they're still going to watch Razorbacks every Saturday. I'm one of those fans. I got to watch Razorbacks every Saturday. I don't care how bad they suck, because I'm a fan. I'm a true blue Razorback fan. So that's the only reason why I could think that the Dallas Cowboys are still America's team, is because that fan base has stuck around for all these years, and this generation, my generations, they're following in their parents' footsteps, grandparents' footsteps, like watching the Dallas Cowboys play, no matter how bad they suck or how bad they're doing. Even though right now they're the first in the NFC East.
Yeah, are they really though?
That is hard pressed. I'm hard pressed to say yes, because they are 2-4.
Actually, they're second, because the Eagles that won last night are 2-4-1, and now have taken over first.
Yeah, I'm looking at the NFC East standings right now, and they obviously have not updated them, but yeah, the Cowboys stand 2-4. It's like I said last night. That's another subject we talked about. How funny that is. Yeah. Is like Washington. Washington only has to win one game, and the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants have to lose their next game for the Washington Redskins to literally be back in first place.
No, I don't know who you're talking about. There's no such thing as Washington Redskins.
Oh, sorry, Washington. This is the Washington team. My bad. So.
All right, let's go on to the next subject. David, do you have a topic we can talk about? It has to be other than Aaron Rodgers, and because I know that's all you live and breathe.
Yeah, I know. Did the Dolphins mess up when they started Tua over Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Dude, that was my third option as a possible thing if we had time today. First off, before we get on that, and I'll let Ross take over after this. Not that the Dolphins were doing great. They're not 6-0, but they were doing fairly well. Fitzmagic was looking pretty good. Yeah. Like, he demolished the San Francisco defense, which they're hurt, but whatever. They still got some good safeties. Tua is going to take over that spot eventually. That's why you drafted him so early. But did you want to wait later to whenever Fitzpatrick is struggling? Or do you gradually put him in? I don't know. Like, Fitzpatrick was just totally shocked from his interviews. He just looked like he was just down in earth, Tua makes it seem like they still have a good relationship, and Fitzpatrick's going to support him. But I don't know. I personally think you might have pulled the trigger a little too early. Not that I don't think Tua is ready. I just feel like you should have gave Fitzpatrick, but hey, we're going to give you 2 more games, because whatever it is, it's the 2 hardest teams, it's a division rival, whatever it is, we're going to give you 2 more games, and then we're going to have Tua take over the reins. That way he knows that his relationship's over. But he said that he felt like, just like with the Buffalo Bills, he was all in on this team compared to other teams he was with. And he said that's what it hurt the most. So that's my thought on it. Ross, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. If he's not doing just absolutely terrible, give him a couple more chances. Obviously, Tua, we know Tua is a good quarterback, but how many times in the past 15 years have you seen a Heisman Trophy winner go to the NFL and suck it up? I mean, there's no better other way to say it, and they're not even playing anymore. And that could just be just the level of play. The guys that are on that level in the pro football league, and Tua just can't handle it. He's going to get his chance. Everybody knows Tua's going to get his chance. College football stars like that, most of the time they come But like I said, Tua is in his rookie year of the NFL, and Fitzpatrick. That's right now that's his team, he's a starting quarterback, and eventually, he's gonna move aside. He's gonna move aside for Tua, and it could have just been they were just waiting for the opportunity to put Tua in.
Yeah.
Who knows what goes on in the locker room and what goes on between the coaches and the players. So I'm with you guys. It may have been a little bit too early, but who were you decide on that one?
With his quarterback ratings for his career, his best was 100.4. His next best was 95.3. This year was a 95 through 6 games. His completion percentage was at 70%. He has never hit 70% in his whole career. He's averaging 255 yards a game, which is his second best compared to the year he had a quarterback rating of 100. And he had 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So he's throwing an interception every game. But, he's having one of his best careers late in his career.
Mm-hmm.
David, what do you think?
Personally, I think they pulled the trigger too early. As I agree with all y'all. Personally, you want to develop the young rookie into y'all's, sets and coverages, stuff like that. But Fitz was actually having an amazing year.
Yeah.
And, I feel like you give him 3, 4, 5 more games to see, progress to a outside, late minutes, like in the fourth quarter, trying to see where he shines, see where he's,
I guess my thing
needs improvement. So that's what I would think. They kind of messed up, but we all know that Tua is the future.
Well, yeah, you're not going to sit there and make a lottery pick on somebody. I say lottery pick, that's NBA. But, again, I felt like if it's going to happen, though, you should give a heads up. Not have the game you do, and the next morning it's like, hey, by the way, you're not starting anymore. So, but let's go ahead and move on. Ross?
All right. My next topic, we'll make it really quick. Picks for the SEC on Saturday. I've got who's playing. Start off and be the one you can answer. Auburn and Ole Miss. Who you got?
Man, I could see Lane Kiffin coming out with this one. Now, he's still working out the kinks of the disaster that old Freeze left with that whole turmoil and the fall of that program. Auburn's just not there. They don't have all the right pieces for Gus Malzahn's system. But I could see, but I could see Ole Miss pulling out.
I think I could too. I don't think Auburn's got it right now. Ole Miss is going to have a bad taste in their mouth from 6 interceptions last week. I just don't think Auburn has the defense to stop Ole Miss's offense right now. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. Next is Alabama at Tennessee.
Hold on, David. What do you think?
David,
or do you want to?
Say, I'll go with Auburn. I mean, I'm an underdog, but
that's fine.
Auburn.
Hey, all right, Alabama at Tennessee.
As much as I hate to say it, it's going to be Alabama. Tennessee has just got too many identity issues with their quarterback. I know they're trying to save the true freshman so he can learn the system more and be a redshirt freshman for next year. But they've got two great running backs. They got some first-round receivers that are developing. Their defense is fine. They just need to get – their linebackers are good. Their defensive backs are good. But they just don't have a pass rusher to get in there and disrupt, and they got quarterback issues. So I'm still going to say Alabama. I think Tennessee could give them a run for their money, but Alabama's talent is just going to take over.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing that happened to Georgia last week with Alabama. They're just too talented. They're a 4-quarter team for the most part, and as you know, Georgia played with Arkansas, and they played with Auburn, or not Auburn. I'm sorry, Alabama. They were playing. That's a second half. They're a one-half team for the most part of this season. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Alabama on this one. They just all around, just too good right now, too talented. They could play a full 4 quarters.
Yeah.
All right, next. What do you got, David?
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
You didn't have to laugh. You could just said Alabama and go with it.
Next is South Carolina at LSU.
I'm gonna say South Carolina. Like I really think that LSU is still not the national champions.
Not anymore.
Like, I don't know if they just lost too many pieces. They're too young. I don't really know. But that quarterback is not, which no one can just fill the shoes and step in and just say, I'm going to be better than Joe Burrow. You know, everybody's their own quarterback. You never see somebody come in and be better.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
I don't know. I think South Carolina could handle their own. I think it's going to be close, is what I think.
Yeah. I'm going to go with South Carolina. Like you, I just don't think LSU has it like they did last year. Like I just said, it's tough. It's going to be tough for anybody to be better than Joe Burrow was at LSU. They lost a lot of people, lost a lot of seniors. I think they lost like 17 starters or seniors or something like that. You know, so they're gonna have to rebuild. They're still a good team, but you know, every team has their periods in time when they're just not as good as they were.
Yep.
Arkansas, prime example. Lord have mercy.
David, what do you think? Who do you got? Wake up, David. You know South Carolina's a state, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. What else, Ross?
All right. Next one is Missouri at Florida. I'll start this one off. I'm going to go with Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Florida's they're just too tough right now.
They played South Carolina pretty close, and that was a good game. I watched that game. You know, and I think, did Missouri lose to Vanderbilt?
I'm actually not sure.
I'm not sure. I may be wrong about that one. But, you know, I'm not hearing much about Missouri right now. And Florida, I think they will roll over Missouri with no problem. Especially after, like I said, losing South Carolina like they did. They didn't lose last week, but to South Carolina. But, you know, I just think it's just been kind of crazy. You know, when I think I texted you a couple weeks ago, and I said, you know, the SEC is just kind of topsy-turvy right now. All these teams that are ranked and getting beat. You know, Arkansas beating Mississippi State, and South Carolina beating Florida, and whoever beat LSU. Sorry.
Well, Mississippi State beat them.
Yeah, Mississippi State beating LSU, and then you know, Arkansas beat Mississippi State. You know, so it's just kind of topsy-turvy right now. And I understand coronavirus probably played a lot to do with that. You know, not getting to have the practices they probably would have if coronavirus didn't exist. You know, when it comes to recruiting, you know, how did coronavirus affect recruiting? And coaches being able to implement their full game plan with their most talented players who are sitting out because they've either tested positive, come in contact with somebody who's tested positive, didn't get to practice like they wanted to. So, you know, this season is really hard to put a lot of stock in, you know, as far as what really would be going on if it was a normal season, regular season.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe we can talk about that at our next podcast.
All right, David.
emphasize that a little bit more. And then, yeah, David, what you got?
Florida. Who do you think?
Florida.
All right, last one. This would be a pretty easy one too. Georgia at Kentucky.
I think Kentucky could give them a run for their money, but I think Georgia's defense will just hold them.
Yeah, me too. And you know, Stetson Bennett, man, he really stepped up. You know, after that disastrous start from that starting quarterback against Arkansas, man, he stepped up and he's doing pretty good right now. And he's really leading that team now. Of course, you know, can't say much about Alabama. Alabama is Alabama. Hang on just a second. You know, right now, Mr. Stetson Bennett, you know, he's already thrown for 958 yards, 7 touchdowns. Now he has thrown 3 interceptions, but 57.3, pass completion percentage. And against Georgia, he went. Well, he didn't do very good at Georgia, from what I can see. He, 18 for 40, but still against number 14 Tennessee, 16 for 27, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Sorry. I was like, who the crap is talking? Sorry, but so I'm going to go with Georgia on that one for sure.
David?
Kentucky.
Okay, going with the upset. I could see that. If that out of all the games, I could possibly see that one being upset. Is that the last game for the week?
Yeah, as far as I can see, that is the last game for Saturday as far as the SEC goes.
David? Want to take us into the next topic?
Yeah. Who do you think deserves the MVP this year?
Me.
In the NFL.
Oh, NFL.
You've already made it to the Hall of Fame.
That's true. Yeah. It's only down from there. Man, I don't know. Everybody's talking about Russell Wilson, and I'm probably going to have to join the bandwagon with that. I feel like he's been overlooked in a couple years. He has he's put up those kind of numbers. Man, he had that great game last week or I guess the week before, team's down, drives them down the field and scores for them. Like, I don't know, just I'm going to have to say out of all the teams, I'm going to say that, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But it proved that he's not that as valuable as a team member, as good as he is, when the Chiefs can run for 200-something yards, like they did the other night. So they can run the ball. It's not just the Patrick Mahomes show. Where Russell Wilson, he's got an average running game, but he can, like I said, it's been all him with the Seattle success is what I think.
Yeah, I'll join that. I'll join that one. Russell Wilson winning the MVP. I felt like he did deserve it a couple of years back. Just, getting robbed of MVP and, still having to prove himself.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. But,
Ross, what do you think?
Well, I pulled this up. It's the 2019-2020 NBA MVP award tracker. And, Russell Wilson is not even in the top 10 as far as this list goes. This looks like Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
That's the NBA, Ross.
What are we talking about?
NFL.
Sorry. NFL.
I thought you said that, and then I thought maybe he just mispronounced it. I didn't hear it very well.
I was thinking Russell Westbrook. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, well, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook is who I was thinking of when he said Russell Wilson. I was like, well, wait a minute. So I pulled it up. So I thought David was going into the MVP of the NBA. I apologize. So who is running for MVP of the NFL? Okay. Do you think it's a little too early to tell at this point?
Like, all honesty, I do, because anything can happen. But you know how they always do on the, you know, who's the one at the halfway point, or if the season ended today kind of thing. You know, that's kind of how I see it. Like, I don't know. I just, when I look around, there's nobody that just stands out. Even with some of the other undefeated teams, I just don't see, like, I really think possibly Dak Prescott could have pulled it out. You know, he's throwing 400 yards a game. They weren't winning, but now it shows you how most valuable player he was. Because they had been crap since he left. Andy Dalton threw a couple of lucky passes to get him in the field goal range when Dak got hurt, and then he can't do anything right last week. So, David, what do you think?
I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on how bad the Cowboys are.
Well, we'd be here all night.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's still a little too early to really say who's the most valuable player.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we got about 5 minutes left. Ross, do you have one more topic we can talk about?
Oh, Lord. No, not at the moment. Nothing I can come up with off the top of my head.
All right. David, do you have anything to talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Are the Vikings waving the white flag this season?
Well, they lost Stephon Diggs, and Dalvin Cook's out for a little bit. That other running back that took over, he's kind of stepped up. Jefferson from LSU, that rookie, he's taking place of Stephon Diggs. Adam Thielen's still there. I think they still got it. I don't think they should put up the white flag, but I don't know. They're just not that consistent of a team. Since they had that playoff run and had the miracle game where they threw that deep pass against the Saints, I just think they're not consistent. And I don't know if it's a Kirk Cousins thing or a coaching thing. I don't know. Kirk Cousins wasn't great before he came there. You know? Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just kind of iffy. Like, they could turn it around and win 80% of the next games. But that's what I think. Ross, do you have any take on that?
No, not at the moment. I did one last thing we could talk about just for kicks and giggles is that that trip on the 10-yard line.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that?
Oh, my God.
The Giants quarterback. Hey, wide open spaces. I mean, good granny, and he just flops.
I've seen two good things about that. It was talking about Daniel Jones running and a picture of Randy Orton RKOing him out of nowhere. I thought that was pretty great. The other thing was the fact that he had one of the fastest speeds of all the quarterbacks this year during that run. And then the 25-yard line just jumps up and grabs him by his toe.
What was the speed, like 24, 21?
No, it was 21.23, I think. And I think he had Lamar Jackson outrun by 21.2, I think is what his run was. But like in the top 5 runs, he had the number 1 and number 4, I think.
It was an 80-yard run.
Yeah, should have been a 90. Luckily, his team scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
But also, I think you got to look at it from a positive standpoint too. Not that, I mean, they did score, so they saved him, but this guy's a threat, man. I mean, a quarterback, an NFL quarterback, should have taken it 90 yards, taking it 80 yards, and outrunning everybody.
Yeah.
So he just showed what he's really capable of doing. So he's dangerous. Now, granted, the Giants are now 1-5, but I think with the right game plan, and getting in sync with the defense and the wide receivers and all that coming into sync, man, that's a dangerous combination.
Yeah.
That's what that's Michael Vick. That's like Michael Vick was dangerous, not because he fought dogs, but hey, Vick did his time.
Yeah.
You just don't see that hardly ever in the NFL anymore as a running quarterback. A dual threat.
I mean, you got Lamar Jackson. I mean,
they want their franchise quarterbacks to last longer than 28, 30 years old, because Michael Vick got abused and got so many concussions because people were like, he's past that line of scrimmage, he's a running back, I'm hitting him.
Yeah.
And then he kind of came back and fit with Chip Kelly's offense, but Kaepernick wasn't doing as good as running because they tried to make him more of a pocket passer. People try to always fix things instead of keep doing what's right, because that read option. And I think what Lamar Jackson, his thing is, in a couple of years, either people are going to figure him out or he's going to take a couple licks and he's going to be done. That's what I think.
And think about, like Peyton Manning, as good as Peyton Manning was, Eli Manning was good. The true blue, Tom Brady. These guys who are true blue quarterbacks, they don't run because they can't run.
Yes.
And that's totally fine, but they also were good enough to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And to me, you need to, there really doesn't need to be any in between. I don't know if that's the right phrasing, but when you've got quarterbacks like that who are throwing for 3,000 or 4,000 yards a season and 50 touchdowns and winning Super Bowl, or at least going deep into the playoffs, if you can't do that and you're a quarterback, I mean, you need to have something to kind of balance it out. Be able to run it, because what is his name? Daniel Jones, is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he anywhere near yet? Do you think he will ever be as good as a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady? And when it comes to actually throwing the football and getting that kind of pass yardage and those kind of touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be something to see.
Yeah, it would be. The future's bright.
So if he's not, and he's also got if he's not, and it's not just him, it's these other quarterbacks too. If he's not, but he's proven he can outrace the defense for 80 yards. Should have been 90, at least 90 yards. He can outrun a defense, an NFL defense, and so I think that gives him a bit of an advantage. Now, like I said, like Michael Vick, you probably shouldn't take advantage of that very often, because you want him to last longer than 28, 30 years old. How crap. I mean, Peyton Manning, wasn't he 20 seasons or something?
Almost, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not big in NFL, I'm no expert, but, I pick up on things like that, when I'm watching these guys, and I do watch occasionally, so I'm not completely oblivious.
All right, guys. Good conversations. We're going to have to stop for tonight for time restraints. Real quick, Ross, you want to plug yourself?
Yeah. Law Dog Avenger Gaming. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, and I post to Facebook. We'll hopefully be getting back into that here in the next couple weeks. I have not been posting as much like I need to, I'm planning on getting back into that. So anybody who listens and just feels like following or watching some gaming, give me a like, give me a follow, and hopefully there'll be a lot more content coming in the next couple months. So keep your eyes open for that.
All right, David.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, I'm good.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, well, guys, Titan Avenger Gaming is my tag. Instagram, Twitter at TAGaming 2020. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook page. We will be playing a bunch of different games. Plan on doing a bunch more podcasts. And if you're watching, you can comment and give us a topic to talk about, and we will discuss it. And you can share your opinion with us. So that is it from us. Everyone have a great day.